So this unit is based around the space we fill. And some of our big questions are the following. So how do we create comfort in spaces, which is something that we really focused on last week, documenting what kind of things make us feel comfort in our own homes. This week, we are going to be looking at um, what ways we are affected by natural elements. So specifically, how are we affected by rain? How are we affected by sun or light? How are we affected by air? Things like that. And then next week, we'll be working with natural elements and how they can impact our space as well as our minds. Will be some things that we're going to be focusing on. So this week, natural elements is something that we're focusing on. We have a couple images here of things that are of natural elements, things of nature. And then we're also going to be looking at some Greek gods, because as I have talked to a couple of middle school teachers, this is either something that you are going to focus on or you have focused on in the past. And I thought it would be nice to kind of pull this into what we're doing this week as a choice project. So, elements of nature, we have fire, air, earth, plants, ice, darkness, water, and light. And then I kind of match those up to our um, Greek gods and goddesses. These are just a couple that were named, but we're really looking at the gods of nature. So, not looking at the god of war, not looking at the god of love, but really looking at the gods of nature. You might find one that's not on this list. I'm okay with that as long as it relates to nature. So, your task this week is you are either going to do one or the other. Okay, you're choosing one. So it's either connecting with a natural element memory. So what this means is you're going to recall a memory that you had with a natural element. You're going to recreate that memory, including the actions of the natural element or the physical connection with that natural element using the supplies available to you. Since I don't know entirely what you guys have as far as materials, this is pretty open-ended. And I want to give an example of what this could be. So if I recall a memory of a natural element or an occasion that I dealt with a natural element, it could be there was a time where my husband and I were coming home from dinner and there was a huge windstorm, and it was right before there was this big thunderstorm that was happening and that was rolling through, and we were just running down the alley to our house as we parked the car, and there was just wind all over the place, and it was just like paper was flying and cardboard and dust particles. So this is something that I could create, and maybe thinking about the actions of that wind or that physical, what did I feel in that moment, reacting to that natural element. And then you're going to do a artist statement using about 10 sentences to explain your work. The other choice that we have is to work with the Greek gods. So you'd select a Greek god or goddess and recreate a scene of their story in the form of a video, some sort of digital graphic, a drawing, a painting, or a diorama. Okay, so for this same thing, you are going to write an artist statement using about 10 sentences to explain your work. Now, I have created several possibilities to answer that first one, connecting to a natural element memory. I haven't dived into the Greek gods yet, which I might be doing this week as examples. So for light, I decided to create this image of it's actually a collage done with magazines and paint markers. And it is about sunrises and sunsets. So my statement here, I don't know if this is about 10 sentences or not. I think I need to add to it. States that I created this collage as a symbol of all the sunrises and sunsets. I enjoy watching the sunrise, whether it's at the beach or walking to school through Patterson Park. I started cutting out patterns that I liked and then started creating the sun shape and then adding different rays of light to differentiate the variety of sunsets. I also used paint markers, to add designs like dots and more patterns. The size of the work is pretty small for me. It's about 5 inches by 5 inches. I ended up giving this work to friends who like to travel. The title of this work is For All the Sunrises and Sunsets, because they tend to work long hours on film shoots. So I have a couple more examples here. So this is a collage. So again, you're using materials that you have. It could be a collage. This one is a painting that I did. So this describes the day where all the wind was kind of going crazy and there was that storm. So I created a painting that kind of relates to that movement of us kind of in the middle of this. So we would be in the middle of that circle and then that moving all around us. This one relates to darkness. And I have my statement there. This is actually a video. So you could post a video for this. It's very short. But that's just describing, again, kind of my transfixiation with water and my relationship with water. My statement relates to a trip that we went to Wisconsin to visit my parents. If you are thinking I want to do something different, you could do something with sewing. So if this was a god or goddess assignment, you could do something with sewing. I would say that you should do it small, maybe 3 inches by 3 inches, so that you can finish by the deadline, because it is due next Monday. If you want to work with clay or sculpture, you can answer that in kind of whatever form you want. This answers air and water. I was thinking of the movement about it. Then, of course, you'd have to write your artist statement. So I do want to just say this. Remember, when you're looking at the Greek gods and goddesses, you are only choosing one that is of nature, meaning you're not choosing the god of war. Okay? I can't stress that enough. Some resources are here for you guys to look at if you're interested. There's also a couple websites that I might pop in here as well. So your task is due Monday. If you upload your video, you can upload and insert a video into Google Slides. That's how I did mine. It works pretty well, and it's easy because then you can actually have your writing assignment in there as well as your documentation of your artwork. So again, this can be in any form that you like. The Greek gods and goddesses have a lot more options to do, but those are just examples of what you could do. I hope you enjoy this project. I will talk to you guys soon.